Alright, we're about to get it going here. Are they just practicing? Shit. Alright. All right, good evening, everyone. People seem to start piling in. We're a little bit late. Everything was supposed to be situated about 5 minutes ago, but better late than never. Our first two competitors for the night looks like they're going to be Apex Alltrax and Armin. We're just getting some technical difficulties sorted out, as with all events like this. It should be any minute now, though. All right. Hello, everyone piling in. We're about to have some crazy battles going on tonight. This is one of the most competitive drift series out there. This is round 2 of Aurora Nights Drift Series. We got a bunch of people returning, some new faces. We're trying to get everybody set up and in order so we can bang these out. First off is Apex Ultrax and R-Man. Oh, sweet. Okay. Thank you. Yep, I see it. We're good. Perfect. I'm glad you caught on to what I was doing with the highlighting. Yeah. Let me check. Okay, it looks like we have a little bit of a switch up. We got Twisted Dreadlocks going up against Apex. Apex is a Team Legion driver. Car number 1488. Looks like he's driving a 91 180 SX tonight. Looks like it's going to be SR20 powered. It looks like Apex's car is built by CarX, rocking some YOLO tires, sponsored by Rebel Cookie. We're just getting a couple more things done, driver meeting, getting all the technical stuff figured out, and we'll be ripping through these battles. I tell you what, these battles are going to be insane tonight. We got some really competitive drivers. In my opinion, probably some of the best in North America, Canada. I think we even got some Brits in here, and they're just some of the best out there. This series is open to the public. I believe there will be some information somewhere in chat later in the night. If you want to end up competing in this series. Alright, looks like Lightskin is blowing up the chat. Thanks, bro. Tier 1 sub gifted. Looks like we got 1, 2, 3, 5 gifted subs from Lightskin. Throwing down cheers as well. Let's go, boy. Alright, looks like we got drivers lined up. Apex leading. Dreadlock. I think we'll be getting a slightly different camera angle than this. I'll just see what we can do here. Alright, looks like everything's getting figured out. The night's about to get started. Drivers are lined up. I think judges are ready. Let's get this night started. Twisted. Dreadlock from obviously Team Twisted and driving a GT3 excuse me, GT350 following Apex All Tracks. Apex keeping a good outside line, but it looks like he might have gone a little bit too far out there. We're gonna have to see the judges count that as a 0. Looks like we're having a little bit of technical problems still. We got some camera shuttering here. Dreadlock's doing a great job following him, keeping a little bit of distance, but seeming to match his angle in every single zone. Apexing that inside clip, going outside, flicking it really hard. Got a little bit of wavering there. All in all, looks like he completely filled that outside zone. That's some good driving. I think we're gonna have to figure out a little bit of the little bit of connection issue between the streams, but and Temple, if you're in my ear, the Discord is whack. I will need someone to show Temple so I can watch that, not the stream. It looks like my angle is having to change really quick so I can see everything properly going on here. Bear with us, guys. For those who have joined the stream, this is CoNcept Drift Series' Aurora Nights. This is round 2. Alright, looks like we're gonna rerun that due to the technical problems. Alright, we got Apex All Tracks leading. 1488 car, Team Legion, driving a 180 SX, SR20 powered. Following him is Dreadlocks in his Voodoo GT350 Mustang. Looks like he's driving for Team Twisted tonight. And it looks like he's putting down. He's following really nicely, really close on transitions. Apex going all the way outside. Right there is where you want to hit for that outside zone for those watching. It looks like Dreadlocks actually got that inner clip a little bit better, which you don't really see in the follow driver, but he's keeping the angle. A little bit of wavering from both of them. Oh, and just coming up against that, that wall at the end. Holy crap, I didn't see all this. Lightskin, thanks again for all the cheers. Holy shit. Alright. As usual, we're switching it up. Dreadlock's gonna be leading Apex. Lightskin's just going off with the cheers. Thanks, bro. This is awesome. Rancho, thanks for the gifted tier 1. Oh, we got a hype train incoming already? Let's go, guys. Keep it up. Alright, here we go for the next... the second of Apex and Dreadlocks. Dreadlocks falling behind a little bit, getting a huge jump. I wonder if the judges are going to want to rerun that due to the weird nature of that. He's filling that entire outside zone, so that'd be unfortunate. And it looks like Apex is having a lot of trouble catching up after that big jump at the beginning. Hitting all the clips, though, following nicely. A little bit of wavering in there from Dreadlocks. He has to straighten out a little bit to make it to this inside touch and go. Now they're going to the wall. This is one of the more difficult parts of the track. All you want to get to is that point right there on that outside zone. Apex struggling really hard to keep up. Dreadlocks is doing a great job staying way ahead of him. But I still wonder if that's going to be a problem or if they just let it ride. That's a good... Besides the gap, that was really good driving by both drivers. Like I said, this is going to be an impressive night. These drivers are the best out there. Some of the best out there. Some couldn't make it tonight. And I just got word from the judges that they are going to rerun that run due to the nature of the start. Now we get to see what they're really about. This comp is all about wanting good battles, fair, consistent. So we got Dreadlock leading again, one more time. And there's a huge jump again by Apex. We'll see if this one's gonna be better. Apex having a weird time following. Dreadlock's holding a perfect line. Hitting that inside touch and go perfectly. Transitioning outside. Apex still trying to follow, gaining ground every moment he can. Dreadlock's hitting the inside touch and go. Going outside against the wall. He's pulling away so far, it's almost hard to see him. Apex really trying to hold it down behind him, but just cannot keep up. It looks like Dreadlock is going to have this if they keep this. I would chalk that up to the chase driver just getting too much of a jump and then letting the lead driver freight train him and just not being able to push back up against him. I'd have to say that would go to Dreadlocks. Good driving from both of them, though. Too bad we couldn't get a better battle. Dude sideways, there's not a roll start. This is all just, they have a car as the chicane cones at the beginning, and it's up to the chase driver to jump and time the chase appropriately, so. We're waiting on word from the judges. It looks like they're going to run one more time. With Apex leading. Alright, Apex going into the inside touch and go. Dreadlock's falling nice and close. Dreadlock's really pressuring him on that inside touch and go to the outside. Apex doing a nice job. Getting all the way out there, kind of straightening out at the end just to get the last bit of extension on that. You can just hear the motors just bouncing rev limiter, trying to get all they can out of these motors, just stretching those legs. Apex to the last outside zone. He kind of comes off it, then pushes back deep again. Right up against that wall. And for these first battles, if I remember properly, it's going to be one more time per battle. And the judges will come to a decision after that based off of all runs. Thank you everybody for coming out to the Aurora Knights Drift Series Round 2. And we're just waiting for the judge's decision here. All right, up next, we got Crusted leading. That's Fire Shay. Looks like we got Crusted driving for Team CoNcept tonight in his Red Bull FD RX-7. This car's going to be awesome. You're going to be able to hear that rotary screaming 10,000 RPM the whole track. Looks like judges are ready. Cars are about to go. Alright, Crusted leading. That's Fire. Driving for Team Legion, also in an RX-7. We're just going to be hearing Doritos coming out all night tonight. Got Crusted filling the entire outside zone, left foot braking a little bit to get that extension, hitting the inside touch and go. That's Fire. Looks like he's struggling a bit to keep proper proximity. I think he bumped him offline there. That was a little bit of contact. Crusted going to the outside wall, left foot braking to keep as deep into that zone as possible. It looks like That's Fire's really struggling to keep proximity. He keeps surging up on him and then kind of fading back and then surging. And right here, we're going to see it again. He's going to surge up. But Crusted trying to pull away from him, left foot braking again to keep it deep into that zone. That car just must be so gripped up that he just has to drive it super hard to get all the way outside. Alright, leading now. It's going to be That's Fire. Rocking some Drift Hunter tires. Crusted in his number 14 car, following. Both rocking the rotary engines. That idle is just music to my ears. I love a good rotary. Alright, Crusted following. It's Fire. They're both letting those engines just sing tonight. Ooh, that's Fire just threw in a, for lack of a better word, fire entry there. Crusted following nicely. Good close proximity on that transition. And again, looking like his mirror image, but not following him offline. That is unfortunate that Fire lost the back end there and looped it. Crusted looks like he's going to take an easy victory as long as he can just keep a good run here. Doesn't got to be aggressive. This might as well just be a victory lap for him on round 1 of Aurora Drift Night Series. That's an unfortunate outcome. We want to see good battles tonight, but you can only drive as hard as the car allows you, and it looks like he just pushed that one a little too hard. Unless there was some contact I didn't see, I think this one's going to go for Crusted. Alright. Judges are in, and it sounds like Crusted moves on in his Red Bull FDRX7. Alright, next up, it looks like we got Pro Whips driving an E30. You don't see that very often. And we got It's Brian with Team Berserk. Looks like Whips is with Team Pro Drift. I'm sorry. It's Brian and RD34. This is a legendary matchup. This is something you'd see straight out of Japan. This is great. Probably one of my next favorite engines is that RB26 out of that GTR. We got, excuse me, Pro Whips leading. It's Brian. And Pro Whips seems to be leaving him. Pro Whips getting all the way outside, hitting that touch and go. It's Brian just seems to be struggling keeping up in that R34 Skyline. It just doesn't seem like he has enough grip to hold on. Oh, and he's just riding the wall. Has to lessen the angle a little bit just so he could get that full outside zone. Whips is just absolutely throwing down a banger of a lead run. I have never seen an E30 driven so well. All right, and the old switcheroo for positions here. It's Brian leading Pro Whips. All right, it's Brian playing with his mind a little bit, trying to get a goofy start there. It's Brian leading a good run, but you got Whips right there, right in his pocket. Nice transition, a little bit of wavering. Whips is just staying right next to him, up on his door, and it looks like It's Brian threw way too much angle at that and had to correct really hard. Let's see how he does up against the wall. Really smooth getting that entire zone, but Whips is his shadow. I don't think there's any way It's Brian can get away from him. He is glued to his door here. This is some crazy follow driving. It looks like he followed him outside, but he was following the line of the lead driver. So it looks like they're probably going to call that on the lead driver. That E30 is mind-blowing. The driver and the crew that work on that car just absolutely killed it for this round. That thing is going to be something, he's going to be one to look out for in this series and this night tonight. That stuff is crazy. All right, I hope that everyone's enjoying the night. We're seeing a decent crowd tonight. Thanks everybody for joining the Aurora Nights Drift Series Round 2. And Temple, if you're in my ear, can the Discord be sent out? Oh, looks like that already got taken care of. Sweet. Cosmo, the bot just threw Discord in the series. For the series, you can join there and go through the reservation process when it opens. And then there's a qualifying. And then you can join. Alright, looks like they tied on one of their runs, but Whips had a crazy lead run, and I think they're taking that into consideration, and Whips has moved on. He is going to be a contender for the night. The dude is going to be just awesome to watch for the evening. Alright, we got Freddy V-Tuned and Drifts. Drifts is not answering his call, though. Alright. Alright, we got Freddy leading Drifts. Alright, Freddy driving for Team Berserk. Drifts for Twisted. Freddy driving a S15 2JZ powered, where we got Drifts in a 2JZ A90 Supra. Judges are ready. We're about to send it. And they're off. Freddy leading drifts. Freddie doing a huge feint entry. It looks like it cost him a little bit of depth into that outer zone. Drifts following him nice and close. Good on the transition, really pushing up against his door into that zone, hitting the inside touch and go. Freddie pushing it really far outside. Drift's doing a nice job chasing him, even though he's a little bit little wavy there on his drifts. He's correcting a lot and pushing right up against his door there at the end. Alright, they're going to switch it up. Looks like Drift's going to be leading now in his A90 Supra. Alright, now it's going to be Drifts leading Freddie. Drifts qualified 8th, Freddie 25th. We got a whole top 32 bracket tonight. That's going to be action-packed. Alright, Drifts throwing it in. Freddie chasing. Drifts throwing up some left foot braking. Hit that inside touch and go. Transitioning. It looks like Freddie can't quite match those transitions. Going way too outside for Drifts. And way too shallow. It looks like on the outside zone there. Wavering a lot. Nice smooth touch and go there. Hits that outside zone. Puts a little too much angle on it. It's going to go a little shallow. And it looks like Freddie did a decent job at following. All right, and the judges say one more time. That was good battles. All right, Drifts following Freddie. They switch cars. Alright, looks like my notes for cars are a little screwed up, so bear with me. It looks like there was a car change. Not sure if he had to use his backup car for whatever reason, but here we go. Drifts. In tow. Freddie going all the way outside, hitting that entire outside zone. Drifts matching his transitions. Let's see how they do on this inside touch and go. Misses it by just a nose. Freddie going into the outside zone. Drifts keeping a exact distance between them two. He's not going any further, not getting any closer, just mimicking his driving. Threw a lot of angle there from Freddie at that outside zone. And they both finished really strong. Freddie, number 77, S15, 2JZ powered. Been ripping tonight. Qualified 8, he did. All right. Alright, we got Drifts leading Freddy. Freddy getting a late jump. Drifts laying the hammer down. Fire coming out the back of both cars. Drifts leading great outside zone there. Freddy in tow. Transitioning really closely, and it looks like Drifts went offline. I wonder if that was some contact causing him not to be able to transition. But if it was clean, it looks like Freddy's gonna take this one. Yo, Flick, I feel you. Thank you everyone for coming in tonight, joining us on this Aurora Nights Round 2 Drift Series. There are some kinks, there are some bugs, but we try to work through. Alright, and judges have come in. And it sounds like Freddy's moving on. And I don't know if I'm missing a temple. What am I missing? Nobody. Never mind. Alright. Alright, from the bracket, it looks like Villains is going to be going against DK Flick, both CoNcept drivers. Villains qualified 5th, DK 28th. Don't let those qualifying runs fool you, though. These drivers both can get down. Villains. Looks like he's going to be driving a S15 2JZ. Looks like running tire enemy tires. Built alongside Hook and Ale and NGK. We got Flick driving an A90. 2JZ powered. Light skin, you gotta stop, man. You're just popping off. Let's go, dude. Thank you for the cheers. You just like seeing a name, don't you, bro? Thank you, man. Cosmo won't let you sign up until we open the reservations, or reservations for competing. I think it's up to like 75 people can reserve a spot. Then we do a qualifying, and then it's a top 32 from there. So just pay attention to it, get some notifications up for that Discord, and once the admins say it's open, you go in and get registered. And all right, we're about to kick it off. We got Villains and DK Flick. A little bit of a hesitation on start. Villains leading DK. Villains throwing it in. DK right behind him, giving a little bit of room for him. A little bit of left foot braking from both drivers as they transition, and it looks like DK goes a little deep into that inside zone with the front of his car. Villains getting all the way outside of the beginning of that outside zone. We haven't seen that, I don't think, from any driver yet. Barely misses that inside touch and go. Goes out to the wall. Left foot braking to stay outside. DK following him nicely, leaving him on just enough room to transition. Goes in nice and tight right as I say that. Hits him on transition. Damn near rips the front bumper off. DK, now his entire rest of his run is fighting just to get close to him. And now they do the old switcheroony. DK Flick leading. Villains chasing in his beautiful concept built hook and nail enemy tires S15. Gorgeous livery on that. And it looks like we got Flick sponsoring himself this season. Looks like we're just waiting for the judges for the go-ahead. Flick getting Nancy, popping off anti-lag. Alright, judges are ready. DK Flick leading his A90 versus, Villains in his S15. DK Flick toss it in kind of softly, but slowly pours on the angle. Villains following suit. Transitioning the inside touch and go. It looks like DK is doing just fine, hitting all the clipping points. Villains right on his door. Flick transitioning to the outside wall. Gets the entire outside zone. It looks like Villains is having troubles matching his angle here. He's staying with good proximity, but doesn't quite have the angle that Flick is pouring in on every single zone. And right there at the end, he gets up on his door. It's a good run. Looks like this is the 5th battle of the night. There's already been some great driving, some crashes. Alright, and as you see the drivers pulling back up, it looks like they determined one more time was necessary. Cosmo, you don't need lights underneath your car. You just can't have fogged out headlights or taillights, I believe. The rulebook is in the tab at the top and has been linked a bunch of times. It is open to console players. Alright, and they're going for the one more time. It looks like Villains is having troubles off the start. Flick getting a huge jump and then letting a little bit of a gap. Villains going all the way outside, pouring on angle. Gets the entire outside zone, and it looks like Flick is having troubles keeping up. Perfect transition right up on his bumper. Another transition that is absolutely insane. Villains getting that entire outside zone. Flick following suit. DK transitioning with Flick right behind him. Villains going all the way outside. Flick is kind of wavering a little bit. Doesn't quite have as much angle. Villains throwing it all the way in, all the angle. Having to correct a little bit to stay outside, but man, what a banger of a lead. All right, they're going to change one more time. Flick leading. Villains in the chase position. All right, we're about to send it with DK Flick leading. Villains in the chase position. And it looks like Villains gets a little bit of a jump there to stay side by side with Flick there. Flick flicking it in. Pouring on angle. Villains matching his angle. They transition, really close transition from Villains there. Flick absolutely throwing it into this outside zone. He might have gone too far out there. We'll have to see if the judges call that incomplete. Going outside here, you can't really get up against that wall with the way that this layout is. That is basically a perfect outside clip from both of them, both heading inside. It looks like he's a little bit shallow for this outside clip. Then goes a little bit deep mid-corner there. Flick wavering a lot and not showing his true potential, but we got Villains there just staying right by him. Now for one more time, the judges are going to assess all 4 runs. And it looks like it was a quick decision. Villains moves on. It looks like DK dropped 2 tires on that outside zone, and that is a 0 incomplete run. 1 tire is a point deduction. Two tires they decided was just going to be a 0. It's just easier because then people can't contest it as much. It's just straightforward. Both tires drop off. Yeah, it's incomplete. Alright, we got IDK Bro God, Team Berserk, going up against Proximity from Team Berserk. So we got a team battle going on here. IDK Bro leading, Proximity chasing. IDK Bro got 21st in qualifying, Proximity 12th, and Bro God is just throwing it down, showing that qualifying runs don't matter as long as you make it into the top 32. He is absolutely throwing down, and there we go, Proximity getting in nice and close to his door, just staying in his pocket at this point. Both hitting that inside touch and go out to the wall. They're going to go a little shallow here and then go back to the outside zone there just to complete that entire zone. It's not how close you can get to that outside wall. It's just filling that zone that the judges have marked for the drivers. This is a insane battle. Proximity is living up to his name and just keeping it right up against his door without even touching him once. That was an insane run from both drivers. What a battle that is. This is still top 32, and we are getting some insane battles going on, guys. All right, now we got Proximity in front. Brogod chasing in. Proximity driving his E36 M3 S52 powered. Brogod in his E36 M3 2JZ. It looks like these guys are really comfortable driving together. As I said, they're both on the same team. This is just the way the bracket worked out, and you can just tell these guys drive together all the time. Look at the gap that he just closed chasing there. He just absolutely knows his teammate and can just predict his every single movement there. Proximity is leading down a banger of a lead run, though. You can't have a good chase without a good lead. This might be another one more time for top 32. And the judges have decided it's another one more time. So we're going to go back to Brogod leading, Proximity chasing. Brogod is number 17. E36 Proximity is number 4, E36 M3. Again, these are both drivers for the same team. Team Berserk absolutely showing up to this this series here. All right, Brogod leading Proximity. I'll see if Proximity can close the distance like he did last time. They both throw it in really hard, both filling the outside zone. Let's see if they can extend it all the way to the end. They both make it. They're going to come off that outside zone there into the inside touch and go. Both transitioning super close, both hitting outside zone. Man, you can just see the synergy here between these two team members. This is what hours and hours and hours of wheel time and seat time driving with the same people can do. You can absolutely just become in perfect sync. It looks like Proximity there is having trouble closing the distance, but got it there right at the end, and great runs. Some great runs from basically every driver that we've seen so far. Now we're going to switch it up. Proximity leading. Alright, for all those new, welcome to the CoNcept Drift Series, Aurora Nights Round 2. The CoNcept Drift Series is a CarX competition based server specializing in professional, organized, fun, and intense virtual drifting battles. You can always join the Discord if you want to join these sort of competitions. And it looks like we're off for the last of the OMT. Proximity leading. Brogod. Proximity just has the snappiest initiations that I've seen all night. Proximity pulling away a little bit. Brogod catching back up, surging on that inside touch and go. Proximity, filling the outside zone, going in for this next touch and go. They both nail it. Brogard is a little bit farther behind than Proximity was, but still keeping the same angle. Really good aggression by both of them. Hitting the inside touch and go. Surging a little bit on Proximity there. Brogard, oh, finding his door there. Proximity having just a perfect lead run. Brogard following it up. What can I say? The driving speaks for itself. Kudos to all these drivers here tonight. We appreciate y'all coming out. Especially the people on stream, the audience. Thank you for coming out. This has been a lot of effort, but these guys do it for your enjoyment and the competition and fun of the competitive driving scene. And looks like the judges are in. It looks like Proximity was just a little bit cleaner there. That's got to be a tough decision. Alright, sounds like the judges and the tech team are talking to all the drivers, telling them there's been a few changes in how they're going to need to be driving to not lose so many points. Alright, next up. Alright, sounds like Blix qualified 13th versus Hamburglar 24/7. Qualified 20th? Blix driving what looks like a C6 Corvette powered by an LS9. And then we got a Hamburglar from Diamond Drift Crew driving an S13. 2JZ powered. Here we go with number 24 leading in his Corvette. Hamburglar following suit. Falls a little bit behind. Looks like has a lot of grip compared to that S13. Throwing down a banger of a lead run. Oh my god, the transitions are snappy with that C6. Oh my goodness. I wasn't even ready to see it. I could only imagine how the Hamburglar took that driving behind him. Throwing down a great lead run. It looks like Hamburglar is wavering. He's just trying to keep up at this point. They both don't quite make it to the final bit of that outside zone. They both hit this inside zone. Those transitions on that C6 driven by Mont is just nuts. And we finally got Hamburglar getting up on the door of him. It looks like Hamburglar was just struggling that entire time trying to keep up, which I understand. That C6 was just out of bounds with how it transitioned. Good run from both of them. I commend the Hamburglar for even keeping up with that thing, because that C6 is gripped up. Alright, Hamburglar, Diamond Drift Crew. Throwing down it for his team. Hamburglar out in front. Blitz, Mobile 1, C6. Ooh, a little bit of wavering on that follow run by Mont. And then puts it right on his door, transitions right on his bumper. Man, looking just like his mirror Ooh, it looks like the Hamburglar might have gone way too far outside on that zone. We'll have to see what the judges say about that one. Gets really far outside on this zone, looking really good. Has to straighten out a little bit to keep the entire zone. A lot of wavering there from Mont in the chase. Hamburglar getting to the outside zone. Looks like he's struggling to keep it outside. He might not have enough power in that car. Maybe too much grip, but man, Mont just threw down a crazy couple of runs. And does it look like Mont is one of two, maybe three people not driving for a team tonight. He is solo dolo. And it sounds like a quick decision from the judges. Mont is moving on. What a run. Alright, we got next up Misfit. LBM is going to be leading Unknown 1 Bro. Misfit qualified 29th. Unknown 4th. But we know qualifying runs don't matter when it comes to battles. It's just how good you can lead. So we're going to have to see how this one goes. Misfit driving for Team LBM. Unknown for Team Legion. Misfit and another rotary powered FDRX7. I will never get enough of the way these things sound. I can't wait to hear it rev out. Unknown Bro, it looks like in a BMW M4. Alright. And they're sending it. You can just hear that rotary popping off 10,000 RPM. Misfit just sending it sideways, wavering a lot in that mid corner there, and it looks like Unknown is having a little bit of trouble following with good proximity due to the lead run being a little bit wonky here. We got Misfit finally getting some composure. Unknown just being right there on transitions, right there on his door in this outside zone. Misfit doing an okay job on that inside touch and go. Misfit wavering a lot, but getting to the outside zone. Seems like he's finally gained a lot of composure there at the end, but Unknown in that BMW was just on his door the entire time. Alright, Unknown leading Misfit. Unknown driving for Team Legion. N54, BMW N4. Thrust leader built. Burning the entire enemy tires. Alright, Misfit following. Here we go. Driver's about to send it. We got him going. Unknown Bro just pulling away from Misfit at this point. You can just see the difference between setups. It looks like Misfit's going to push a little too hard. Taps him mid-corner, pushing him offline. Misfit is just struggling tonight. Gets a little close. Another tap. Surging really hard up on this outside. There's a little bit of a gap, and then he's probably going to surge on this next corner again. Just try close proximity there. Misfit is just struggling. Unknown. It's not the best lead line, but it is solid. He's not wavering. He's got his line. And Misfit is just struggling. Unknown looks like he's going to take this. Misfit, I just don't think he had a... He just didn't have the setup totally dialed in that RX-7 and just was fighting the car the entire time. All right, judges are coming in with the decision here. Sounds like they went with unknown. Good driving from both of them. Misfit just needed a little more time to dial in the suspension on that thing. Get it gripped up. Yeah, unknown. Moving on. Good job from both drivers. Alright, looks like we're going to be moving on to the next grouping. It's going to be a little bit of a transition period here, so bear with us, folks. This would be a great time to go get a drink, go to the bathroom, get some food. Because this comp is going to be another probably 2 hours to get through all this. Again, this is a CoNcept Drift Series Aurora Nights, Round 2. CoNcept Drift Series is a cars competition-based server specializing in professional, organized, fun, and intense virtual drift battles.
I need the code again.
Yeah, it's...
If you want to join our server and get more information, get registered, it's going to be in the description. If you type Discord into the chat, it'll give you the Discord link, and you can join, register when it's open. If there's a little bit pause in the commentary or the stream, we apologize. We're trying to get this whole thing kind of dialed in. I have some things I got to go through to make sure everything's solid, and the admins have a whole lot to take care of on the back end. So I apologize for the dead air time, but we're getting it all figured out and trying to keep it as smooth as possible for you guys. The next battle is going to be Rogue Snaps versus Hasty Foot. Rogue leading Hasty. Rogue qualified 3rd. Hasty 30th. You know, I remember seeing Rogue right at the beginning and driving, and man, he was green, and he has just gone on a rampage to get top of the leaderboard in a lot of comps recently. This dude is just progressing like nothing I've ever seen, so he will be a driver that we will need to watch out for as the series goes on. Alright, we got this group of 4 battles, and then another group of 4 battles, and the top 32 will be over. There have already been some amazing battles. The top 16 is going to be insane. Alright, sounds like judges are ready. Rogue leading Hasty. Alright, Rogue who was my choice for Rookie of the Year at one point. Leading, Hasty, Rogue, tossing it in with a nice fade entry. Slowly massaging the car outside. We got Hasty throwing way too much angle, having to correct, goes way offline. Rogue hitting the inside touch and go. Transitioning this next outside clip. It looks like Hasty's just struggling to keep up. Rogue has a crazy fast Mustang for this series. Hasty in tow, doing everything he can to close that gap. Rogue isn't letting him by pouring all the sauce on. Hitting the inside clip. Hasty can't quite touch it. Rogue hitting every single zone perfectly. Hasty just cannot close proximity, and it looks like Rogue's going to just push it all the way to that wall. Man, that's going to be a tough lead to beat. You know, I don't pick favorites out here, but Rogue is going to be one to watch for this entire series, for the entire night. The dude is on a rampage. Hasty's going to be leading this time. Rogue gets to show what he does in the chase position. Hasty looks like he's got a self-sponsored car this season. Rogue driving his twin-turbo Voodoo GT350. Rogue driving for Team Concept. Hasty's one of the few out here supporting himself. Rogue getting a little bit of jump. He doesn't want to fall behind here. Hitting the brakes. Letting Hasty go out in front. And there he goes, just pushing into his door. Absolutely insane proximity. Hasty throwing down a really good lead run. Rogue had some sort of issue there. I think that's going to be a deduction against him, unfortunately, because that seems to be user error. Hasty, if he can throw down this line, it might be Hasty moving on. Unless Hasty DQs, but it looks like he's running a decent lead. I don't know if he's straightened out or not in his previous run. Right there was quite a straighten, but that's a tough one. We're going to go in with one of the drivers really quick, see what he says. Hey, Rogue, what happened there, bro? It looks like he accidentally had an issue, hit the wrong thing and caused him to, I think, have a 0 at I don't know how these runs go with judging, but I think if it's a user error, I think they're gonna let it slide, and Rogue is gonna be Rogue's gonna be out for this one. Oh, and a tough break for Rogue. They're going to go for Hasty. Rogue, I think, had the better run, but if you have a problem on your end, the rules are that that's on you. Man, that's just a tough one on Rogue, man. They could have run it one more time, but they're trying to keep it super fair. If anybody does anything, they're going to keep it consistent. Rogue is out. Hasty moves on. It's a tough break. Dude, sideways, I agree, but the rules are rules. They got to keep it consistent throughout. Even if the other driver drove better, they just got to keep it. Alright. And as I said, Hasty Foot moves on. Matt Dude and Pills going on. Alright, Jez is ready. Matt Dude versus Pills. Pills in the chase position. Matt Dude leading. Matt Dude driving for CoNcept in his BMW. Pills, Team Berserk, and the R35 GTR. Matt Dude absolutely getting all of the angles, starting to look like Forrest Wang out here. Matt Dude just throwing it down. Looks like he goes a little too far outside there. I think that's going to be an incomplete. Pills putting on the pressure. It looks like he might be nudging him a little bit, but as long as it doesn't push him outside, the judges aren't going to care about that because Rubbin is racing. Matt Dude throwing down a solid line. If this is a complete run, he might have one of the best runs out there, but if he zeroes out because the tire drops, that could be interesting. Pills following suit, absolutely mimicking him. All right, switch it up. Pills leading. Pills qualified 14th, Matt Dude 19th. Judges are ready. And we are about to send it into the next battle between these two competitors. Pills leading, Matt Dude getting a huge jump. Matt Dude has to let off. Pills throwing it in. Matt Dude absolutely matching his angle. A little bit of left foot braking from the lead driver. Trying to fill that outside zone. A little bit of left foot braking from the chase driver. They're both wavering a little bit, but nice transition proximity. Oh, and it looks like Matt Dude having issues following again in that outside zone, pushing a little too deep. Pills throwing down a nice lead run. There's a little bit of technical problems on my camera here, but it looks like they finished that run out. All right, we're waiting for the judges. Beautiful night for a drift competition. Aurora Nights round 2. That was a run between Matt Dude and Pills. And another one more time battle from the judges. Matt leading, Pills following. Alright, Pills getting the jump. Matt Dude going through the chicane. Matt Dude absolutely freight training him. They both do a nice fan entry. Don't quite get outside. They're going to massage it just to that outside line there, just like that. Pills getting good proximity, but not quite the angle that Matt Dude has. Matt Dude transitioning to the second outside zone. Doesn't get too deep on there. Pills following him right on his door. They both just barely missed that touch and go. Pills getting up on his door. Matt Dude getting the entire outside zone. And it looks like we have a little bit of a streaming issue here. A little bit of desync. Matt Dude seems to be having a lot of issues here. Judges are going to have to decide what they do here. It looks like they're just going to rerun that run. Not the entire battle, but just that run there. These issues are prevalent. The servers aren't perfect for this yet, but if anybody gets it done smoothly, it's going to be this series. We're having a little bit of technical issues here. Hills and that what looks like a tiger themed R35 GTR running a billet 4.2 liter block, pushing over 1,000 horsepower. Excuse me, pushing 1,000 horsepower. Matt Dude, Diamond Drift Crew. We're just having a little bit of a connectivity issue, so bear with us. Oh, man. It looks like we're just gonna wait for a reconnection. Alright, looks like we got everything sorted. Pills. Gonna be following Matt Dude. Matt Dude driving for CoNcept. Pills, Team Berserk. It's a battle of titans here. Matt Dude throwing it in. Pills, matching his angle, getting good proximity. Matt Dude filling the entire outside zone. Pills matching his transitions perfectly, just mirroring him, pushes him way too far outside. That's a lot of contact, and that's probably a 0 from Pills due to contact. They're gonna keep running it. So these guys are gonna will always keep running to run. They never want to give up. Notice how they switched positions there. That's how you tell these guys are veterans. They do not want to give up. They're gonna run their run. They want as much seat time as possible. And the ending looks nuts. These drivers just know what they're doing. These guys are absolute vets behind the wheel. And we're gonna switch it up. Matt Dude following Pills. Pills, I believe, in the only R35 GTR for the night. Alright, and we're gonna send it. Matt Dude following Pills. Matt Dude falling behind a little bit on this launch. It's a drag race to the first corner. Pills throwing it in, getting a little deep on that outside zone. Looks like he might have dropped both tires there past that line. Matt Dude following in tow, not doing too bad, keeping a little bit of proximity, giving himself a little bit of a sponge between the two cars, just so he doesn't screw up. Because if Pills went off there, then Pills got a 0. Matt Dude moves on. Matt Dude starting to push up on that door, starting to get a little bit aggressive here. Showing a little bit of courage, and we got Pills giving a nice lead run. The only mess up I saw was on that first outside zone, first outside zone. Matt Dude following him really nicely. That was a whole different battle. Thank you for everyone showing up. Aurora Knights, round 2. Judges finally have a decision. Let's wait for it. So it looks like Matt Dude's moving on due to Pills hitting him on the decel. So it goes first outside zone, inside touch and go, and then there's a decel zone into the second outside clip, and it looks like Pills just nailed him there, and the judges deemed that a DQ. So. Alright, so Salty leading Broncho Brunts. Salty 11th qualifier. Brunts 22nd qualifier. Salty driving for Team Concept, and you guessed it, Broncho. Team Code Red. Salty in that Falcon tire livery. C6 427 LSX powering that son of a gun. Bruncho in an S15 2JZ powered, and these drivers are just going to absolutely throw down tonight. These are seasoned veterans. We got Bruncho transitioning as close enough to just rip off his brunter. Salty is just getting to every zone he needs to, hitting as deep into the outside zone and as close in those inside zones. Gets all the way out into that outside zone. Bruncho is just mirroring him perfectly. They both just barely missed that inside zone. Salty taking it nice and easy. Brunts is just on his door though, absolutely pushing him, giving him a whole lot of aggression, and that is a crazy run from both drivers. Salty seems like he has a lot of fans tonight. Alright, we're going to switch it up. Salty following, Brunts leading, Brunts S15, Salty, C6, Falcon tire. They both seem amped, they're just both popping off on the anti-lag. Number 75 F15, driven by Bruncho. They both had lazy initiations there. It looks like Salty is wavering a lot in the chase position. Salty not quite matching his line or angle, but it looks like Bruncho had a weird line there. He might have went both tires off, but he has way more angle. Way more angle than Salty. Salty is just gripped up. You can see him surging every time he lifts off his brakes and hammers the gas. Bruncho getting every outside zone. He might have gone too deep on that second one, but we're going to see what the judges say, and that is a great run. Salty matching his angle right there at the end. Good runs to the drivers. Judges are highly debating this one. This was a great battle. And one more time. This might be the most one more times per top 32 that we'll ever have. Salty leaving Bruncho. Alright, number 1 Falcon tire. C6 driven by Salty. Number 75 S15 by Bruncho. Bruncho getting right up on his bumper there at the beginning. It's a drag race at the beginning. Bruncho initiates a little early. They're both shallow, but Bruncho right on his door. Salty pushing it all the way outside. Bruncho mimicking him, getting right on his bumper on the transition. They both hit the inside touch and go. Salty trying to get the outside. Bruncho just absolutely mirroring him. Will not stop pushing against his door. Might have pushed him a little bit outside there on that line, but this is what drifting is about, ladies and gentlemen. Salty going all the way outside there at the end. Bruncho absolutely mimicking him, does not give him any room, putting in all the aggression and pressuring him the entire run. They both go a little shallow here on this outside zone. They're both driving as hard as they can, and it looks like Salty just doesn't have the line to push it all the way outside there. What a run. What a run. Alright, Salty chasing Bruncho. Let's see if he can put the pressure on him just like Bruncho did. Alright, Bruncho hitting the chicane. Salty following him. Both of them initiate a little early again, but it looks like Bruncho has this entire outside zone where Salty was kind of wavering and didn't quite get there till the end, but then he comes off a little bit early. He hits the touch and go. Salty doesn't quite make it. Salty surging. Bruncho hitting the inside touch and go, going to the wall. Oh, it looks like Salty straightens out to try to catch up. Bruncho going all the way to the outside zone. Salty barely catching up, really struggling to keep proximity. Bruncho hitting every single zone perfectly. Transitioning is snappy. Salty finally getting up on his door, mimicking him, and they both hit the outside wall. God damn. This is crazy. Both flashing lights at each other to, I think that's a good sportsmanship, saying good run. Stuff is crazy, guys. These runs are insane. Most of these people are on wheel. We have a few controller players, but there is some skill being thrown down here. You love to see runs like this. Both of them parked under that light. You can see the liveries for both these cars. All these teams spent a lot of time tweaking these cars, making the liveries, hundreds of hours. Judges are in. And Salty takes the victory. Salty qualifying 11th. Sounds like Bruncho got 2 tire drops during the third outside zone. The long one against the wall. And it sounds like he's zeroed out. Alright, we got our last matchup for grouping number 3. Street Racer versus TSF Rise. Street Racer driving for Team Berserk. TSF for Team Pro Drift. Street Racer leading. TSF in the chasing position. Street Racer in a Chaser Mark V. Looking like he's rocking a 1.5 JZ. And they both flick. It looks like Street Racer went way too outside for that. He flicked a little too hard to the outside zone, and that might have been a 0 right off the rip. TSF Rise trying to follow. Kind of running his own line because he doesn't want to run too far outside here. Street Racer running a good run after that. Both of them hit the inside zone, going to this wall. This could be intimidating for some drivers. It looks like he pours on a lot of angle to avoid the wall, and it looks like TSF kind of follows suit. Street Racer hitting the inside zone. TSF transitioning pretty closely, and they both are running this outside line really well. And it looks like TSF is pushing a little bit, trying to close proximity, but man, what a battle. If Street Racer didn't go outside there, I think that would have been one of the best battles of the night, ladies and gentlemen. That was good. Alright, Street Racer qualified 27th. TSF Qualified 6th. Rise going to be leading now. Street Racer following. Let's see how he does. Let's see if he's better in the chase run following a lead. TSF absolutely hucking it in, going almost 90 degrees sideways. Does a little bit of wavering just to get to the outside zone, but still controlling the call really well. Street Racer seems to be struggling to find the angle. Rise is absolutely throwing it. Another 90-degree transition there. Street Racer just cannot keep up. Street Racer just doesn't have the angle in his car to keep up with Rise. Rise throwing it outside of the wall, gets a lot of angle, gets tapped by Street Racer, gets the entire outside zone. Street Racer has just been struggling this entire chase run, trying to keep up, just can't close proximity, will surge. And Rise, if he did not drop 2 tires there, I think he's got the win. What a battle. Rise has a crazy lead there. Those transitions and the angle entering every outside zone was just absolutely mind-boggling. Judges has a quick decision. Looks like Rise gets a win. He had a good lead run, good proximity on the chase. Looks like judges really, really like that one. It was a quick decision, but good driving by both of them. It is hard. It is not this easy to drive like these people are in this game. This kind of competition is absolutely nuts. I have competed and commentated on multiple events, and this driving is above, I think, anything I've ever seen up to this point. Okay, sounds good. That is Temple, the kind of the showrunner for this thing. He says there's going to be a little bit of a substitution. One of the drivers couldn't make it, somebody else can. So there will be a little bit switch up the last bunch of this top 32. We want to make sure that there's enough people to fill the top 32, so there are going to be substitutions sometimes if others cannot show up. Looks like Wolfie and Elder Kraken will go first. Wolfie has been a top contender in many competitions that I've competed in. The dude just is an animal on the wheel. Temple, I don't see King Damu on the top 32 sheet. Am I blind? Oh, that's who is switching. Okay, yeah, that's my bad. Yep, Turbo. I wasn't paying attention to who switched. Perfect. Am I missing Glonky on here? Oh, pretty Glonky. Perfect. Yep. Alright, like I said, we got Wolfie going up against Elder Kraken. Wolfie has switched cars for this event. He usually drives an F-15. He's driving an A90 Supra, and apparently it's even faster, which is going to be very interesting to see because he knows how to dial in his cars. Elder Kraken, I have not seen yet. Driving for Team Berserk. He's driving a Fox body. Looks like it's a Ford 351 Windsor. So we will see how this thing goes up against Wolfie. I cannot wait to see, because Wolfie is a force to be reckoned with. Lightskin, going with the cheers again. Salty, coming in with cheers. Thank you so Salty, Lightskin. You're the GOAT. Looks like Glonk's got a few fans here. I'll be excited to see what this Fox body can do against Wolfie. It's hard to see anybody compete really well against him, so. Wolfie qualifying 7th, Elder Kraken 26th. Wolfie leading. Elder looks like he got a huge jump on Wolfie. Wolfie surging ahead of him. And this is going to be a struggle. Alright, Wolfie, Elder Kraken. Wolfie might have gotten 2 tires off there, which would be disappointing because that means that's 0. His transitions are super quick. Elder Kraken can't quite get the angle because Wolfie is just so gripped up. Wolfie hitting the inside touch and go. Going to the outside wall. And again, you don't have to hit the whole outside wall. The line is a little more shallow than that, so you can hit the outside zone where that car is parked. Wolfie pulling away from Elder the entire run. Elder getting a good line, though, so that's not a huge problem. As long as you have a good line, proximity matters. But if Wolfie screws up, then you've got a good line and you can possibly move on. If Wolfie got a 0 there, that's a tough break, but it looks like Elder might have a shot if that was a little bit of a slip up by Wolfie pushing too hard to the outside zone. That Fox just can't quite keep up. I don't know if it's low on power or if it's just super grippy. But by the looks of it, it's a little low on power. Wolfie falling side by side with Elder. Elder throwing it in really hard. Wolfie throws it a little soft, but then pushes right up on his door. Elder filling the outside zone, but coming off right at the end there. Wolfie matching every single movement that Elder's doing. Elder throws it a little bit backwards. Wolfie knows to keep it shallow. He is a veteran, and he absolutely follows the line with a little bit of left foot braking and has no issue following that little bit of a hiccup. It looks like Elder is pushing a little too far outside with Wolfie right on his tail. Doesn't have a whole lot of angle there to push up. Taps him, gets him offline just a tad bit. Just letting him know, hey, knock, knock, I'm here. And Wolfie just falls into position behind him. If Wolfie went offline, Elder might have moved on with Wolfie's screw up, but if not, Wolfie, I think, takes the win on that one. What a great run. Going up against Wolfie is not easy, guys. Wolfie is seasoned. He's been in every comp he can. And having someone like this, I personally haven't seen yet. I don't know how he drives it, but man, he held it down against Wolfie. Wolfie is a tough competitor to drive against. Good job to both of them, but really kudos to Elder. That is a tough first battle for this comp, for at least round 2. Judges are debating. Might be another one more time. It all depends on what they saw with Wolfie. That'd be a huge upset, Wolfie going out in the top 32. And it sounds like a one more time. Looks like Wolfie didn't go too far outside there. One more time from the judges. Wolfie leading. Elder following. That Fox body's keeping up faster than I thought it ever could. And as it says on the backs of Elder's car, just drift it. It doesn't matter what you have, go out and drift it, because this is the most fun you'll ever have behind the wheel of a car. And it looks like Elder pushes too far, pushes Wolfie outside, and that's going to be game over. Unfortunately, Elder got the jitters. Yips got the best of him and pushed too hard into him. And it's super unfortunate because this line is insane. Elder is such a good driver. Goes a little too far out there. I think this run is going to be a 0 for him now. We'll just see what the judges have to say, if that's contact on Elder or if Wolfie slowed too much. You never know what they see. What's up, Oswald? How's your night going? Lightskin, we can use with some more cheers if you want, you know? You apparently got all the bucks, man. Alright, we're gonna have Elder leading Wolfie. Elder in that bored out 357, or sorry, 351 Windsor. Powered Fox body. Wolfie in his 2J A90 Supra. My god, that outside zone might have been the most perfect we've seen all night from Elder. Wolfie, not letting him get away though, but playing it safe it looks like, since I think he knows he's got the victory as long as he doesn't touch him or screw up. I haven't seen Wolfie be this timid, so this must be strategy. Elder wavering a lot in the front. Wolfie not letting him get away still. Wolfie getting a little close on that transition. And now he's pushing up. I think he's gaining a little bit of confidence. I think he knows he's got this. And finishes nice and strong up against that wall. Again, there's only one more time battle in the top 32. And Wolfie gets the win due to contact on that first turn. That's a 0 out for Elder. Alright, we got Rush and Denied Luck. Rush for Team Pro Drift. Denied Luck, Team Legion. Rush leading in his legendary Mark IV Supra, 2JZ powered, Pro Drift built, YOLO tires, Rebel Cookie sponsored. Then we got Denied, Team Legion, and E92 M3 S65 powered. That BMW is staying on that door, driven by Denied. Oh my goodness, the fucking backward entry by Rush. Rush is holding it down, wavering a little bit. Denied on his door. Doesn't quite have the angle he does, but they both get to the outside zone. Denied doesn't quite make it all the way out, but still hits the zone. Rush has been throwing it down. Doesn't quite get into the zone as early as the judges would like to see, but he still fills the entire zone, the entire rest of the zone once he gets there. That is a fast run by both of them. Denied did a really good job keeping up with him. Lining up for the second half of their battle. They are popping off. They are ready to go. They're anxious. Denied leading. Rush following. Denied winning the drag race. Rush pushing way too hard and hitting him. Goes all the way outside, and that's going to be a 0. The jitters are getting to some of these drivers. He didn't have to push that hard, and he's still pushing. He knows he's got nothing to lose now. Rush is being an absolute menace to Denied. Rush doing his best to just put all the pressure to... Maybe his strategy is to get Rush a 0. Maybe they can have it one more time just by putting all the pressure on him. But it looks like Rush is keeping a cool head, hitting all of his zones that he needs to. Or, I'm sorry, Denied hitting all the zones that he needs to. And Denied follows through all the way to the end. Sounds like there's a little bit of contention with the drivers. Light skin. Hey, come on with the 200 cheers. Come on, man. Light skin with the 200. Looks like there's going to be some discussion, so we're going to have a little bit of a commercial break here. We'll be right back in about 30 seconds. Alright, and we're back. It looks like we're in the middle of the battle between Turbo and the 43 Sylvia S15 and Code Red and the 338 Code Red Corvette. Alright, we're gonna switch it up. It's gonna be Turbo following Code Red. Turbo is a substitution for King Damu because King Damu broke, couldn't make it. So Turbo is filling his spot. Code Red, driving for Team Code Red, or MLFS, driving for Code Red. Code Red built C6. We got Turbo in his S15. Turbo chasing. Turbo throwing it in really early, giving MLFS a lot of space. He's trying to close the distance. Oh, he surges right there on that transition on that inside touch and go. Getting right up on his door, wavering a lot. Looks like he's having to correct a lot. That car is a handful. MLFS going to the wall, outside zone. Doesn't quite fill at all, taking it a little easy. Turbo doing everything he can to keep proximity and stay on his door, even if it means running a little bit of a shallow line. He's wavering a lot, but still keeping a good chase. Alright, if there's anybody new here watching the stream, this is CoNcept Drift Series. This is the Aurora Knights Drift Series Round 2. CoNcept Drift is a CarX competition-based server specializing in professional, organized, fun, and intense virtual drifting battles. Join our server for more information and get registered for an amazing event. You too could drive in here with these drivers if you think you have what it takes. And judges have it. It looks like Turbo is moving on. Turbo, the number 43 S15. He was a substitution. Alright, excuse the interruption. Lightskin, I agree, man. Temple busts his stuff for this. Temple is the basically the front man for all this stuff. He is the one that organizes all this. The dude is an absolute machine. He gets all this taken care of. Takes care of half of my job. The dude is an absolute animal and makes sure this stuff runs as smooth as can be. Alright, we got McShifty and Glonky. Glonky seems to be a crowd favorite right now. McShifty, Team LBM, BMW M2, S55 powered. And then we got Glonky, Team Legion, BMW M4, N54 powered. McShifty laying it down in the lead run. Doesn't quite get all the way outside, but gets the entire zone. Not as deep as the judges would like to see. Pretty glonky. Falling a little bit behind, doesn't quite transition, and it looks like McShifty slides on glass outside that second outside zone. I think that's going to be an incomplete. Glonky, as long as he just stays up on him, he won't have any sort of issues getting this run as long as his lead can be solid. He taps him a little bit, helps him to that inside zone, doesn't make him go off. And it looks like McShifty is just struggling to stay online. Glonky is just keeping it safe and does a good chase run. If anybody has any questions, Temple is super busy running this comp right now. If you guys have any questions, just join the Discord server. If anybody driving has any questions, mods can or admins can help you. Temple is going to be busy. He will get to everyone after the comp if you have any questions, concerns, or issues. All right, McShifty qualified 31st, Glonky 2nd. Seems like he's got a good crowd following, crowd favorite, people's champ. Glonky ripping it off the start, leading McShifty. Absolutely freight training McShifty. But he goes off course a little bit. That is going to be an incomplete for Glonky. He needed to just run it safe, and it looks like he was trying to throw it down and show off a little bit. Glonky can keep up. This might be a one more time due to that that outside zone. And again, both of them go offline. It turned into a kind of a sloppy run for both of them. Glonky is pulling ahead, but McShifty trying to close proximity. They're just keeping pace with each other. Not getting further away or any closer. Glonky is going a little bit shallow with these transitions. Goes deep mid-corner on the last outside zone, and McShifty can't ever keep up. This is going to be interesting. This is going to be hard for judges to judge. This is going to probably be another one more time. Let's go, ladies and gentlemen. What a night of battles. Great Saturday evening. Beautiful night, and as we've called it, another one more time. Thank you for everybody in the chat. We enjoy all of the interaction. Unknown villains. Dude Sideways. Dextalab, thanks for joining us. Light Skin, as always, for the cheers. Thank you. Alright, we got Glonky and McShifty going at it again. Throwing it to the outside. We got Glonky driving for Team Legion. McShifty driving for Team LBM. Oh no! We got a huge correction out front from Glonky. McShifty might have to... This is going to be so hard for the judges. There's corrections on both ends. I think there's been tires off for both of them. This is going to be an interesting battle. This is going to... I don't know how the judges are going to judge this. Kind of a sloppy run here from both of them, but McShifty seemed to hold on to it. This will be very interesting to see how this one goes, guys. This is the last bundle of people, or a last grouping of people for the top 32. This is group 4. We're going to get in the top 16 here in a second, right after this run, and we're just going to hop right into it. We're about to see who wins, McShifty or Glonky. There have been some upsets tonight, guys. There have been a top 30 qualifier making it. Let's see if McShifty, qualified for 31, make it. This will be very, very interesting. And here they go, throwing it in the first outside zone. Chase driver putting some pressure. A little bit early of a transition there for the lead driver. And another early transition getting outside zone mid-corner. Both of them missing that inside touch and go. Going outside to the wall. Again, they don't have to make it all the way outside the wall. They have to make it to there's 2 clips right before the wall and after the wall because the wall doesn't flow well with the line, so they have to hit those 2 zones. And it looks like a wall was hit by the chase driver, and he's going to have to catch up the entire time and doesn't quite make it. We'll see how this goes. And the judges are coming in with the results. Glonky, the people's champ, moves on. Let's go. Crowd favorite tonight. It seems to be Glonky, and he moves on. No upset in that battle. Let's go. Top 16 up next. If you think the battles are insane now, the battles are going to get even crazier. These people are going to be on each other like white on rice. Temple, are we still pulling in 8 drivers? Okay, perfect. I'm good. Lightskin again, throwing in all the cheers, dude. Holy crap! You know what? I'm gonna throw in some stuff here. All right, no problem. So it sounds like we're gonna have a little bit of a commercial break here, so we will. If you guys want to chat in Twitch, we're all. I'm watching Twitch. You can interact, shout out, throw some bits in. Yeah, Shark Puppet. It's still a team, but they have a series right now going called Aurora Knights Drift Series. This is round 2. These guys throw down the cleanest, smoothest, easiest run competition that there is out there right now, in my opinion. These guys have this stuff dialed in. Give us a couple minutes here, people. Go grab a snack, go to the bathroom, get a drink. There's a little bit of an intermission here between the top 32 and top 16. It's only going to be a couple minutes, but I think there's 1 minute left. So if you need to get a drink, get a snack, go do it, because the action is about to start again. Okay, we're about to get into our next battle here. We got Dreadlocks encrusted. Alright, they're about to send it. Dreadlocks leading Crusted. Dreadlocks in his GT350 Mustang. Crusted in his rotary powered FD RX-7. Dreadlocks going all the way outside and going a little shallow right at the end of that outside zone. Transitioning. It looks like Crusted is just his absolute shadow here. Doesn't quite fall into the outside zone. It looks like he went off on that lead. It looks like Dreadlocks went way off the outside. That might be a zero. Excuse me, a zero. Crusted following him, trying to close that proximity, but Dreadlocks has a really fast setup right now. Totally gripped up. 1,000 horsepower to that GT350. Crusted finally pushing into his door, getting good proximity right up into that outside wall. Good job to both drivers. That was a great battle. Alright, now we got the Dorito leading the American Muscle. Who should come out on top? Import versus domestic. Battle of the century. And it's drifting, so you know what? Imports have been doing it for way longer than domestic, but the domestics are coming in strong in the recent years. Alright, Crusted pulling everything he can out of that rotary, where we got Dreadlocks in a GT350 with a Pro-Charged Coyote engine. He got rid of the Voodoo, decided to go with straight American Muscle cross-plane crank V8. Looks like he's doing really well following Crusted, but Crusted has such a light car, you can see how easily he can change his line, whereas Dreadlocks kind of has this heavy boat of an American car where he has to be smooth and can't just change lines like Crusted can in his import there. It doesn't look like Dreadlocks can quite get the angle, but he's not giving up any proximity against Crusted. Crusted is just a veteran out front, and you can just see all those years of experience. Now it's to the judges to see what they're going to decide here. Are we going to have a first one more time in the first battle of the top 16? Or are one of these people going to come out on top? If I didn't mention, we have Dreadlocks driving for Team Twisted and Crusted for CoNcept. And the judges call for a one more time. First battle of the top 16, and we get a one more time. This is how this night is going to go. We have such good drivers out here that the judges don't want to leave anything on the table. Again, for the top 16, one more time is going to only be once, and then they're going to judge between the 2 battles, the 4 runs, and decide who comes out on top. We're going to have Twisted Dreadlocks leading Crusted initiating a little late, but getting really deep in the first outside zone. Dreadlocks is going to come off that outside zone a little bit early. Crusted transitioning right behind him. A little bit late, though, not quite mirroring him. Wavering a little bit in that chase run. Dreadlocks getting that inside touch and go. So is Crusted. They're going to go out to this wall. They're going to hit that outside zone. Go inside a little bit and hit that next outside clip. Go into this inside clip. Both of them are going to get one tire in, which is perfect. That's what the judges want to see. Crusted throwing it in and surging right on that beginning of that outside zone. They're both going to push the outside zone. Left foot braking, putting the power down, and absolutely killing it. Let's go for these drivers. This is the craziest driving you will see out there. This is the most competitive you'll see, and these guys just love it. Every one of these guys are practicing hours a day, multiple times a week, and it shows in their driving. All right, we got Crusted leading. Big turbo, 1.3 liter rotary, barely a cylinder of one of these V8s out here. And look at him absolutely training on the beginning, going outside a little bit too far, but then pulling in perfectly, staying near that outside zone the entire time. We got Dreadlocks following. Can't quite get on his door, but transitions really close to him. They get that inside touch and go transition. And look at the way that RX-7 can change line. He can just clutch kick it, and the weight of the car is so light that he can just maneuver it and finesse it and massage it wherever he wants. Whereas Dreadlocks has to have a dedicated line, and both of them take a different set of driving skills. This is insane. Crusted getting crazy angle, getting all the way outside on that last zone, and Dreadlocks just struggling to get the angle with him, but keeping good proximity. What a good battle. What a good battle. This is some crazy driving tonight. Dexalab, thank you for coming into the chat. We appreciate your attendance, man. You have a great weekend and a great night, man. Gonna get 100 bits for that run for the chat. And it looks like Crusted moves on. The light car seems to be the advantage here. Crusted moving on. All right, up next, Pro Whips versus, hold on, Fred IV Tuned. Fred IV Tuned. Pro Whips for Team Pro Drift. IV Tuned. Team Berserk. Whips in that E30 M3. This is the car that everyone's been clamoring about tonight. This is kind of the wild card. He has a super wide body, E30. It's super light. All the horsepower he could throw at it. And it's been probably the shock of the night, in my opinion. This guy just cannot go slow. All right, they're lining up. Here we go. Judges are ready. Pro whips. Number 131, Fred IV tuned. Car number 77, Sylvia S15, powered by a 2J. Pro whips, E30 M3 with an N54, BMW powered car. And it looks like Fred just cannot hold on in that chase run. It looks like he pushed way too far into his competitor there, into Pro whips. He's just trying to keep up, surging, doesn't have a good line. He has just absolutely in shambles trying to go against that BMW. That BMW is so fast, it can throw anybody off, and you're going to want to just try to keep up with him. But if you just run your own line, that's better than trying to throw a shaky line behind him. He's wavering all over the place. That E30 by Whips is absolutely a monster. This is what separates the boys from the men. Absolutely insane built car by Team Pro Drift. Whips is throwing it down. He knows how to massage the brake here. He's going to be able to go in right up on the door of Freddie V-Tuned. And we're about to see one of the craziest chases that we will see tonight. Judges are ready. Freddie going up front. Whips behind him. Whips and Chase staying right up on the bumper. They're both going to throw it in. Whips a little bit later than Freddie. Freddie a little bit shallow, trying to probably keep away from Whips. He massages it to the outside corner there. Or excuse me, the end of the outside zone. Whips it really tight into the touch and go, but barely misses it. Really trying to stay away from Whips here. Whips is just teasing him, getting closer and closer and closer on every transition. Let's see how Freddie does against this wall. Kind of misses the outside zone. Goes a little deep mid. Taps the wall a little bit offline, and Whips is not fazed by it. Whips is just staying a little bit away from him, about a car length. He knows he's got this one in the bag. He's staying safe. He goes a little bit far outside there. We'll see how the judges react to that one. But it looks like Whips has this unless he threw a little bit on that last outside zone. All in all, great driving. Freddie, you could tell he was a little bit scared, tried to get away from him, drove as hard as he could, and great driving by both drivers. Judges are discussing what they're going to do for that run. We're going to see who moves on, if it's going to be another one more time. One more time is how the night has been going, so it won't be shocking. Got a good view on Whips here. Pro Drift, E30. All right, the judges have a decision. And not shockingly, it looks like Whips moves on in his E30. That thing is a menace. He is a driver that is unwilling to be messed with. We will see if he moves on to the finals. The drivers congratulate each other, and we move on to the next battle. Whips moving on. All right, up next to the list, looks like we got Villains and Proximity, two great drivers that drove hard tonight. Villains driving for Team CoNcept, Proximity driving for Team Berserk. These team battles are always super competitive. I love to see them. Crowd loves to see them. Berserk and CoNcept are some of the most consistent, most aggressive drivers out there. All right, judges getting ready. Villains qualify 5th, Proximity 12th. We're in the top 16 here of the Aurora Knights Drift Series, round 2. We're in the top 16. We got Villains going, kind of gapping him on the beginning. Proximity gonna try to close the gap here. Oh, and it looks like Villains goes way too far outside, but Proximity did not allow him to run his line, so we will see how the judges vote that one. Neither of them are gonna finish it. And it looks like Proximity is gonna try to finish his run. Villains, it's a tough break, but I I think it would have been a 0 for both runs. So it's all going to be a deciding factor for this next run. There's not going to be anything to compare it to because Villains won't have a lead. Proximity won't have a good chase. We will see how this goes. Alright, looks like Proximity finishes out his run. Proximity. Just feathering that throttle, getting all the noise out of that car that he can. He's got to love the sound of that. I mean, who wouldn't? Villains following Proximity. Villains in his CoNcept S15 going up against Proximity in his S15. They both have a lot of wavering. Proximity might have straightened out on that run. Villains getting right up in his door, left foot braking, not get too close, just massaging that brake pedal, mimicking his transition. It's not going as deep, keeping a little bit of proximity. He might know he has this one if he does a nice conservative chase run. It gets to the outside zone there. Proximity is straightening out, misses that second bit of that outside zone again. It's the beginning of that wall all the way to the outside of the wall where that car is located. That is the end of that outside zone. And it looks like Villains might have this one, just playing it safe, driving well, not wavering too much. We shall see how the judges react to that very first corner, because if it's a 0-0, Villains has a really good chase. If it's Proximity's fault, then Villains has the win. Alright, and it looks like the judges decide that it's a one more time. It's a fault of both drivers, that the second run was good enough to do that. It sounds like they're doing a double DQ from the beginning and just calling it a rerun. So we got an... Alright, and here we go. Villains leading Proximity. Villains throwing a fade entry right along that outside zone. He is painting that wide line perfectly with his outside tire. Proximity trying to gain proximity on him. Just can't quite make it. Villains throwing a whole bunch of angle on that inside clip. Going to the next outside zone. Proximity trying to chase, but it's really hard to predict that kind of crazy angle. Proximity falling behind on that transition. Villains on the outside clip. Gets the outside zone. Rides the wall. Gets all the way to the outside. Proximity can't keep up. Villains is just an absolute powerhouse on this run. Just with all the speed, just laying the hammer down, foot to the floor. Proximity just not having the angle that Villains is and just trying to keep up. What a run by these drivers. Alright, drivers lining up. Let's see if Villains will take the jump. Villains decides to not take the jump. He even slows down. Proximity throwing a huge fade entry. And Villains following right behind him, taking a little bit of a less aggressive approach. Just staying in that pocket right by his door. Proximity transitioning nice and quickly, getting to the outside zone, pushing it perfectly. Villains giving him a little bit of room on that transition. They both missed that inside touch and go. Both of them pushing the beginning of that outside zone. Both of them filling it nicely, hitting the end. It looks like Villains straightened out a little bit there. I don't know if that's a complete straighten. And it looks like Proximity is doing a perfect lead run. Straightens a little bit there. But ultimately, doing really well. Both drivers were a little bit conservative on that run, but I think they did really well. Again, it's one OMT. They cannot do another OMT. In this top 16, I think until at least the semifinals, they're only doing one OMT just for time constraint reasons. If I'm not mistaken, I think Villains moved on. Alright, Unknown following Mont Blix. I have a little bit of issues with the bracket updating. But it looks like Mont Blix and Unknown. And here we go, Mont Blix in his C6 versus Unknown in the chase. Unknown is BMW M4, M54 powered, and we got Mont in his C6 Corvette, powered by an LS9. It's not very common, but these guys seem to like the torque of that motor, and it seems to be working out for them. Mont absolutely filling every zone. Unknown having troubles keeping up with him. That C6 is gripped up and it is fast. He's transitioning late too in the chase. Mont is actually absolutely throwing it down in front of Unknown. Alright, just ready for the next run. Driver seem to be ready and eager. Mont following Unknown. Unknown leading, getting the chicane. Mont can't keep up. Unknown is absolutely crazy fast on that straightaway. And then here comes Mont just putting the pressure on him. He's wavering a little bit, almost straightens on that transition. He's almost too gripped up. He looks like he's using a lot of brake to try to stay away from Unknown here. Unknown missing that inside touch and go, going to this outside zone, hits the beginning, riding it out, misses the end, goes a little bit shallow. Mont is struggling to stay on his door. I think he just has too much grip in that C6 Corvette. They're both wavering. Their angles are wavering. And it looks like Unknown hits the wall at the end, a little too outside. We'll see what the judges have to say about that. Alright, the judges are discussing. I think this is a good time to say this is CoNcept Drift Series Aurora Nights Round 2. CoNcept Drift Series is a CarX competition-based server specializing in professional, organized, fun, and intense virtual drifting battles. Join the server, get registered, and come join us in these crazy battles. If you think you can drive with the best, come join this, because this is the best of the best. And it seems like the judges have come to a conclusion. And it sounds like Unknown moves on. Unknown moves on against Mont. Congrats to Unknown. He moves on. Mont, good runs. Congrats for getting in the top 16. This is a crazy battle. And here we go to the next grouping. Alright, we're just going to be switching over to the next grouping of people. Alrighty, a little intermission here between the groupings for the second half of the top 16. Alright, and I was informed to mention that specs are checked in between each groupings. Every single person is checked for spec. Everybody goes through a tech process every single time they load into the lobby. So we can determine if anyone's out of spec, they have a chance to change it. If they don't, they're disqualified immediately. The person gets a buy run, and we move on. There's no second chances here. Everyone is held to the same standard, and it's a very high standard, so we can have the greatest battles, highest standard. We don't have to worry about anybody cheating. Everybody runs what they're supposed to. Alright, by the looks of it, we got Hasty Foot, Matt Dude got lucky moving on. Hasty, I think, might have as well. This is going to be an interesting battle. Hasty Foot going outside. Matt Dude following suit. Matt Dude, really close transition to Hasty there. Another close transition, but doesn't quite get the proximity on the entry of this outside zone. He's pushing in to get it on this inside clipping point. It straightens out. He might have completely straightened out at that point. Matt Dude on the chase. Hasty Foot getting this last bit of that outside clip, wavering a little bit there. Doesn't quite get inside. His line is a little bit wide for that inside touch and go. Or that inside clip, excuse me. And it looks like he's having troubles getting this outside zone too. Matt Dude might be pushing him a little bit, but that's not enough to excuse the bad line on that outside zone. Alright, we got a little switcheroony here. Hasty Foot following. Hasty Foot in his 2016 GT350. That is a Coyote-based Illuminator motor, throwing a lot of boost at it, around 1,000 horsepower. And then we got Matt Dude driving for CoNcept in his E46 M3 S54 powered BMW. Both go a little bit outside there on that second outer zone. They both missed the inside touch and go there because they both pushed a little bit outside. They hit that first bit. They're following the zone here, hitting the end of that outer bit of that zone there, which is exactly what they want. They don't want to be running that wall because their line's going to be thrown off. Matt Dude throwing out a really solid lead run. Hasty Foot seems to be struggling getting the line and actually hitting them there at the end. Oh, excuse me. I might have misspoke. That is a E92. Sorry, not an E46. It is an E92 driven by Matt Dude. I must have my notes a little bit wrong here. And another one more time. That's how this night goes. One more time after one more time. These drivers are just so matched that we don't want anything left on the table here. The one more time has commenced. Hasty Foot leading. Matt Dude in chase. Hasty Foot throwing all the angle but doesn't quite get outside. Matt following, getting right on his rear tire there. Hasty coming off a little early on the outside zone, doesn't quite hit that touch and go, straightens out completely on that transition. Matt Dude does not following his own line. He knows that Hasty has a little bit of trouble on his line, so he just follows his zone, keeps calm, cool, and collected. Starting to push up, closing proximity. They both kind of missed that inside clip there. Hasty Foot can't quite get outside, pushes a little too far, and it looks like Matt is just following his own line, and it looks like he spins. Matt Dude having issues with his vehicle. I don't know if something broke or if he's having connectivity issues, but he is done. Finito. Oh my goodness. What a rough time for Matt Dude to have some connectivity issues. What a run. That might have just been thrown in the toilet. That is a rough go for Matt there, but there's nothing we can do about local issues. If it's an issue on his end, that is all on him. If it's server issue, the judges will discuss it. Alright, and they're off again. Matt leading, Hasty following. Matt's got to throw down a banger and kind of screw up Hasty, but Hasty seems like he's on his door. He smells blood in the water. He's just got to run a solid chase. Excuse me, solid chase. It looks like he's pushing really hard too. He's actually being really aggressive. He just doesn't want to leave anything on the table. Just wants to throw it down. Doesn't want to take anything for granted. Doesn't want anything handed to him. It looks like he's pushing harder and harder. He just wants a good battle. He does not want to take any charity here. Look at him pushing up on the door of Matt. This is exactly what we expect from these kind of level of drivers. This kind of caliber is what everything about Aurora Knights is for. All right, we're going to go to the judges here, see what they have to say. And a quick decision, it looks like Hasty wins. Matt Dude's connection issues or whatever server problems he has is his downfall. This is the problem with something like this. Sometimes you have things you can't control, and it is just the way the cookie crumbles. So Salty versus TSF Rise. Salty in his Falcon tire, C6. Salty driving for CoNcept. Rise in his 2JZ S15. Team Pro Drift build car. Alright, we got Rise being aggressive on the straight. And we got Salty throwing it in almost 90 degrees. We got Rise following suit. Rise right up on his door all the way outside. Salty gets. Salty transitioning, kind of misses the touch and go, transitions really quickly again. And Rise is not having any of his shenanigans. Rise is right on his door. Salty transitioning to the wall. He doesn't quite get the beginning of that outside clip, but then pushes out right at the end. Rise is just pushing and pushing and pushing, getting closer and closer. Salty transitioning to the last outside zone. Puts a little bit on the brake there. It looks like Rise predicted it and is just pushing it on his door. Rise is throwing down tonight. Rise absolutely is not leaving anything on the table. He wants all of it. Let's see if Salty can rebuttal what Rise did against him on that chase run. Salty overeager. Just on that anti-lag. Look at him. He is just staying right on the door. Salty not giving him any room. Rise throwing it in anyway. Salty putting it right up against him. Holy hell. Rise pushing it all the way to the outside zone. Salty is not giving him any room. Hits his bumper on transition and he bumps into him. That is going to be a 0 for Salty. Holy cow, guys. This is just insane. Salty was trying to give it his all, and I think he pushed a little bit too hard. This is what this is all about. This is what we want to see. We want to see drivers pushing it as hard as they can, and unfortunately, Salty pushed too hard and does not give him room to transition. This is insane. Man, it looks like from the way the car's behaving, Salty might have a break. He might have an issue with his car. That seems unusual for Salty, and it might have been a mechanical failure that caused him to run into the lead driver. That is unfortunate, but by the looks of it, Rise is going to move on. Judges are debating. Sometimes judges know what they want. Sometimes it's quite the conversation to get the right person moving on. Judges have come out. Rise has won. Salty seems to have goofed it on his chase. Unfortunately, Salty didn't give him enough room on that transition, and they are calling it a 0 for Salty. Rise moves on. Alright, this is the battle I've been waiting for. Wolfie versus Denied Luck. Wolfie has proven himself time and time again. This is where this competition gets so interesting. These drivers are not going to leave anything out there. I am so excited to see these runs. Wolfie and Denied. Here we go. Wolfie leading. Team CoNcept, A90 Supra with a 2JZ power, Denied Luck, Team Legion, BMW E92, and 3 with an N54. Let's go. Wolfie out in front. This is going to be exciting. Wolfie putting it in pretty softly, but we got Denied right on and mirroring him. Wolfie getting the entire zone, which is exactly what we're expecting. The transition is perfect. Denied right on him. He leaves a little bit of room, and Wolfie puts it backwards into the outside zone and a little bit too far. That could be a 0 for Wolfie. Denied just keeping distance at this point, playing it safe. He gets the outside zone. Wolfie pushing a little deep into the middle there. Denied keeping distance. Really, really safe run. I think he knows he's got this run in the bag. It's going to be his lead run that decides it all. Oh my goodness. This is insane. Wolfie does not screw up like that. His nerves must have got the best of him. We have not seen something of a big mistake like that from Wolfie in a long time. Alright, Wolfie following. I don't care if Wolfie went off there. Nobody does, because we all want to see what he does in the chase position, because we know he can drive. Wolfie in that CoNcept built A90 Supra. We got Denied, Team Legion, E92 M3, S65 powered. He throws it in. They both get the outside zone. Denied just filling the entire zone all the way to the end. Wolfie just staying on that back tire right there. Pushes a little hard there. Transitions right on his bumper. And you know Wolfie's pushing hard. Look at him right on that door. Mimicking exactly. They both get that inside touch and go. Wolfie just barely ripping his bumper off there. Wolfie touching him, letting him know he's there. They both get to the outside zone. Wolfie pushing and pushing and pushing. They both get that touch and go. Wolfie just right there on the transition. We got Denied filling the entire outside zone with a perfectly run. Wolfie surging even closer. And what a run. Let's go, drivers. Wolfie and Denied, they are just absolute wheelmen. Oh my god, this is some insane battles for the top 16, and we're only going to see better. Alright, and we have it. The judges love the style from Wolfie, but it looks like Denied is moving on. Denied moving on. Wolfie unfortunately out. He is one of the most aggressive drivers out here, and unfortunately he pushed it way too hard on that outside zone. Next, it looks like we have Turbo and Glonky. Glonky, People's Champ. Turbo in that 43 S15. Glonky pulling up in that Team Legion M4. Turbo has the work coming out for him. S15, 2JZ powered. Glonky M4 with an N54. Glonky pushing hard. Looks like Turbo's wavering really hard. Straightens out. Glonky keeping it composed behind him. Glonky transitioning. Turbo throwing it into this second outside zone. Gonna be able to hit that inside clip on the line he is. Glonky just putting the pressure on him. Glonky seems to have a lot of fans tonight, and looks like he's showing up for him. really putting the pressure, transitioning right there with Turbo. Turbo has a little bit more angle. Glonky just keeping the pressure, both of them in the outside zone, and it looks like Turbo kind of wavers at the end and gets a little shallow, but we shall see. Glonky's going to lead this run. We know that S15 is a little underpowered compared to a lot of these cars out here, but the way you can set up that suspension, it looks like he is doing just fine. All right, here we go. Glonky, hammer down, people's champion. Turbo got everything against him. They both have a feint entry, and they enter perfectly together. Glonky getting all the way to the outside zone. Turbo mimicking him perfectly. Turbo wavering a little bit on that outside, the end of that outside. They both hit the touch and go. Both transition together. Turbo getting a little bit of distance between them. Glonky going a little bit too far outside, hitting that inside touch and go, going into the wall. This is where it matters. They hit that outside clip, get it inside, and hit that outside zone again. Turbo mimicking him perfectly, but leaving a little bit of room between them. Not quite as much angle, but he's getting in there, moving it in, massaging it into the pocket of that door, and they both hit this outside zone perfectly. This is some great driving from these competitors tonight. All right, that was the last group of the top 16. Now we get into the gray 8. Oh, and with the upset, Turbo moves on. Glonky gets the 2 tires dropped that the judges see, and Turbo moves on. This is exactly why this is closer to like skateboarding or figure skating. Judges have this say. This is all about style, speed, how you go into the zones, if you can get the tire drops, or if you can just ride the edge there. This is insane, guys. All right, we're gonna have a little bit of an intermission here while we go to the grade 8. If you guys want to get a drink, get up, go to the bathroom. This is going to be the time to do it. There's going to be a little bit of transition period, about a minute, minute and a half, and we're going to move on. There's always a spec check / tech check between each of these big rounds, the top 32, this Sweet 16, grade A, what have you. So there's going to be a little bit of a time to get up and stretch your legs. Bear with us. We'll be back in about a minute, minute and a half. All right, grade 8 coming up. We got Crusted to warm up his tires here on the track. We have a little bit of an upset. Turbo TC came in as a substitute, and he is here in the grade 8. He is my underdog choice for the night. If he can just keep it consistent, I think he can at least make it in the semifinals, maybe in the finals. He is absolutely showing up for someone that is here on such short notice. I love a Cinderella story, and if Turbo can pull it off, that would be just amazing for the night. We got light skin still throwing in cheers. You know what? I'll match you 100, bro. Jesus Christ. Alright, we got Crusted versus the E30. If anybody has any sauce for it, it's going to be Crusted. This is where we separate the E30 from the really fast cars. If the E30 can keep up with Crusted here, E30 being driven by Pro Whips, if this guy can throw it down, we know he can throw it down with the best of the best. Alright, Crusted in his Dorito-powered FD RX-7. Red Bull, number 14. He's got the RX-3 front end on it, and we got this crazy E30 driven by Whips. Crusted getting some distance from Whips here, but Whips closing in proximity. Whips transitioning right behind him. Crusted transitioning this outside zone. They both hit the outside zone really deep in the beginning, and then they kind of waver on the outside. They both hit this inside touch and go. Whips is not giving Crusted any room to breathe. They are both hitting these zones perfectly. I've never seen driving at this caliber on here, guys. Crusted absolutely throwing these transitions, and Jesus, we got, Whips just absolutely mimicking him perfectly. These are the battles that we've been waiting for tonight, guys. These are the battles that we have wanted. This is the pro level stuff that we are wanting to see here tonight. Crusted is going to have to throw down a banger of a line to keep up here with Whips. Alright, 1, 2, 3, 4. And we're gonna send it. The E30 first. Crusted following. Crusted trying to get a jump because he knows how fast this E30 is. Oh, and it looks like he transitions out to each other. It looks like Crusted didn't give him enough room to initiate. That could be a problem. Crusted getting overeager in that situation could be an automatic 0. We're gonna have to see what the judges say if he gave him enough room or not. It looked like from my booth that he did not give him enough room to flick it in, which could be a 0 on Crusted. We will have to see if they rerun that or not. This is the level where nerves get to you, ladies and gentlemen. This is the level where you can't even think straight because you're just so tunnel vision on doing good that you make mistakes. And it looks like the judges have made a decision. Whips is moving on. Crusted did not give him enough room to enter into the first outside zone. So unfortunately, Crusted is knocked out. Alright, next up we got Villains. Driving for CoNcept versus Unknown Bro, driving for Team Legion. Villains driving a 2JZ S15, whereas Unknown is in an M4, powered by an N54, running Tire Enemy tires built by Thrust Leader. Villains got a Tire Enemy hook and nail built NGK sponsored S15. And it looks like they're having troubles. Villains going way outside, but it looks like Unknown might have bumped him out a little bit. They transition inside touch and go. They both hit it pretty well. Villains getting the entire beginning of that outside zone, powering out, getting the entire fill for that outside zone. And it looks like the chase driver is just having some problems keeping proximity. Villain's going a little too far outside, touched the outside wall, disrupts him a little bit. That's not too bad. And it looks like Unknown is just struggling to keep up. Villains has a good lead run as long as there's no you know, problems with the contact. I think Villains had that. Unknown is still throwing it down with such a heavy car. Alright, we got Unknown. Number 69, M4. Villains. Number 27. S15. CoNcept. 240. Unknown throwing down a banger of a lead run. The transition there was so close. He could have ripped the front bumper off for Villains. Villains taps him. Gets him too much angle, and it looks like that's going to be the run. This is going to be a one more time. I think this is going to be a one more time. They're going to finish out their run. Because these guys want as much time in these cars as they can. They want to feel it out, feel out the track. They're going to finish it out. But right there at that contact is going to be the end of their run for judging. And I feel like it's going to be another one more time. There's a debate on this. Alright, so it sounds like a one more time due to all the contact. Villains is going to lead. Unknown's going to follow. This is where we get into the nitty-gritty. These drivers are going to have to drive as hard as they can to prove that they are here for the top four. Here we go. Villains against Unknown. Villains leading. Unknown chasing. Villains gives it a soft flick. Unknown throws it pretty hard and has to brake really hard to keep away from hitting Villains. He gives himself a gap, but Villains transitions nice. A little earlier than Unknown. Hits that inside touch and go. Villains getting all the way to the outside there. Unknown following suit. Villains getting into that inside touch and go. Unknown following him like a shadow. Villains getting pretty deep into the mid of that outside zone, so he has to straighten out as you see at the end there. Hits the inside zone. Transitions a little late. As you can see, he has to get on the brakes there and clutch kick it to get to this outside zone. Straightens out a little bit, and Unknown is doing his best to follow. Alright, we're going to go into the next half of this OMT. Alright, Villains chasing Unknown. Germany versus Japan. Here we go. Unknown, BMW. Oh my god. Villains getting right up on that bumper. You just see the reflection of his headlights up against that metallic paint. And it looks like Unknown goes a little deep. Villains just right there on every transition. You can see how close he is. Unknown wavering a lot, and then Villains wavers because he pushes a little too hard. Villains trying to get up in the pocket of that door. They both hit this outside zone. Let's see if they can pull it out to the end. They do. Unknown giving a good lead, but Villains is getting a better line, getting deeper into every zone. He touches him there, and it looks like Villains and Unknown are going to finish door to door. All right, and again, this is CoNcept Drift Series' Aurora Nights Round 2. CoNcept Drift Series is a CarX competition-based server specializing in professional, organized, fun, and intense virtual drift battles. This is for the serious of the serious drivers, but that don't take it too seriously. Join our server for more information, get registered, and join these drivers in an amazing event. All right, judges have decided unknown moves on. Unknown moves on. Villains get in the cut. Next is Hastyfoot versus TSF Rise. Hastyfoot qualified 30th for everyone's information. 30th. And this dude is in the grade 8. This is how qualifying doesn't necessarily matter as long as you make it. Hastyfoot might not be a great lead driver, but if you can chase, you have a chance here. All right, we got a little bit of a technical delay here. All right. Jeez, excuse me. All right, we got Hastyfoot leading Rise. Hastyfoot not on a team. Rise on Pro Drift team. We got Hastyfoot in his 2016 Mustang GT350 with a Coyote-based Illuminator motor, feeding all the boost through it to give him just about 1,000 horsepower. Rise in his S15 2JZ burning YOLO tires, absolutely just ripping tonight. They both go a little wide. It looks like Hasty has a little bit of issue keeping on line. Rise following him in suit. Hasty, not a lot of angle there, trying to keep that outside zone. Rise following with a little bit more angle in the chase, going a little shallow in the beginning of the outside zone. It looks like Hasty goes all the way out, which might be a disqualification. Rise keeps a solid line. If Rise keeps a good lead run, it looks like he might have this. All right, they're going to switch it up here. Thank you, everyone, for coming to watch CoNcept Drift's Aurora Nights Drift Series Round 2. We got a couple more rounds after this. Round 1 went off without a hitch. This is some of the best driving you will see out here. Competitive, intense, and most importantly, very, very organized. We got Rise leading in his S15, Hasty in his GT350. Hasty having troubles keeping him on the straightaway off this initial launch. Rise throwing it 90 degrees. Oh my goodness, what an entry, keeping it all the way outside. Hasty following. Hasty can't quite keep up, finally pushing in. Rise putting all the angle on. Hasty can't keep it. He knocks into him a little bit on that outside zone. Hasty's really trying to keep the pressure, but a little too much pressure might be the demise for him. And it looks like he can't keep the angle there. Touching the wall, straightening out on that chase. Rise, if he can just keep this run, I think we're going to have a little bit of a one more time. Killer, if you think you're ready, hop in this Discord server, join us. We would love to see you there. We love to see competition, and we love to see new drivers join this series and compete. Alright, judges have spoken. It looks like Rise moves on to the final four. Alright, we got the underdog, Turbo TC, following Denied Luck. There's a little miscommunication with where the lineup was, but we're sorting it out. Denied leading Turbo. Denied driving for Team Legion, BMW E92 M3 with an S65 power plant. We got Turbo in a Sylvia S15 2JZ. Let's see if he can keep up. Denied throwing it in. Turbo following with a whole bunch of angle, throwing his back end almost up against his door. Denied getting the entire outside clip. Turbo mimicking his every movement. And there is a little bit of technical problems, which is so unfortunate because that was a great run. That would have been the run of the night. Alright, we're going to rerun that one due to technical problems. Let's see if they throw it as hard. We got Denied leading Turbo. They throw it in. It's a little softer than last time. Turbo getting right in on his door, right at that front tire, which is exactly what you want to see. He wavers a little bit, loses proximity. Denied missing that inside touch and go. Turbo surging right on this outside clip. Wavering a little bit. It looks like Denied is pushing away from him a little bit. Turbo transitioning, falling apart. Denied getting the entire outside zone. Turbo needs to close that gap a little bit. Denied getting the inside touch and go. Turbo surging right there, trying to get the door. Denied is just painting that white line with his inside tire. Turbo putting the pressure on him right there at the end. That is what we love to see at the end of a battle. Alright, Turbo's got to prove himself right here. This is the Cinderella story of the night. Denied just ripping anti-lag. Turbo throwing that chicane. Getting a little bit away from Denied. Hucking it in. Denied matching his angle perfectly. Denied is right on that door with the perfect line. Turbo has got everything cut out for him. Denied transitioning right on his bumper twice, following his line. Turbo is a little bit shallow, misses that inside touch and go. Denied is just mimicking him perfectly. This might be one of the best chase runs we've had. Even though the line's not perfect, Denied is following him perfectly. He's like he's got a crystal ball in front of him, telling him exactly what to do. He has his line planned out from the start. Turbo has been wavering the entire time, and I think Denied has this one in the bag. What a great run by these competitors. Competitors congratulating each other here at the end, waiting for the judge's decision. Got a nice view of both these competitors here. The visually appealing thing about this drift series is everything is after dark, so you get all of the headlights, underglow. You can see the braking. It is just visually appealing to everybody. Alright, judges got a decision. It looks like Denied moves on. Denied has a consistent run. He didn't have as many tire drops as Turbo. Turbo, what a Cinderella story up until now. He fought out. He was a substitution at the top 32 and made it to the grade 8. The dude can drive, and he can drive without a whole lot of prep. Alright, so it looks like we're in the semifinals. Top 4. In this, there can be 2 one more times. We wanted the best driving we possibly can. So you can have 2 one more times. Pro Whips and Unknown Bro are going up against each other. Alright, Pro Whips leading in his Pro Drift E30. Unknown, Team Legion, BMW M4, BMW on BMW Crime. And we got them fucking battling tonight. That E30 is fast, but Unknown is not going to give him any room. He's going to put on the pressure. They both hit that touch and go a little bit outside afterwards. It looks like Pro Whips is putting it down tonight. Pro Whips hitting every corner. He hits the outside zone, goes a little shallow like you're supposed to, hits the end of that outside zone. Unknown is having issues keeping up. Whips is absolutely throwing down banger run after banger run tonight. Unknown doesn't even know what to do with himself. He cannot keep up. He just has to throw his own line, and Whips is throwing it down. Alright, I'm excited to see how Whips does in the chase run at this kind of level. This is the beginning of the Final Four. Unknown in his modern BMW, and we got Whips in the retro BMW. It looks like Unknown has his line figured out. Got it throwing down. Whips behind him, transitioning right behind that bumper. Looks like we're having a little bit of camera issues here. Unknown still throwing down a solid run. Hits that inside touch and go. Whips along with him. Unknown hitting that beginning of the outside zone. Hitting the end. Perfect. Whips mirroring him exactly. They hit that inside clip. Whips mirroring him on that transition. And this is the battles that we want to see right here. These are battles we expect. Look how perfect these two drivers are driving with each other. They don't drive together all the time, yet somehow these two can mimic each other perfectly, and that is exactly what we want to see. All right. Let's see what the judges have to say. Oh, excuse me. Let's see what the judges have to say after those two runs. The first battle of the Final Four. Whips versus Unknown. Whips in the E30, Unknown in the E92. Will it be a one more time? And it will be a one more time as per usual for this series. This has been a series of one more times. These drivers are so consistent that the judges just cannot pick a winner without it being unfair. All right, we got Whips versus Unknown. Whips leading, Unknown Whips in the E30, the huge, wide body of that E30 versus that E92 of Unknown. Unknown putting it into the door of Whips. Whips recovering, keeping composure after Unknown just slams into him, hitting the inside touch and go, transitioning to the outside zone perfectly. Unknown following him up. Whips absolutely not deterred by any sort of outside influence, hitting every single zone, getting the beginning of the outside zone there, hitting the end, a little bit shallow. Unknown falling behind because that E30 is just so gripped up and so fast. I don't think he can close the gap. It looks like he's going way too outside, and I think Unknown has fallen apart. This might be Unknown's battle if he can just keep a good chase run. This is the battle of the Titans. This Final Four is going to be some insane runs, ladies and gentlemen. Alright, we got Unknown leading Whips. Looks like they're both eager to run. We're waiting for the judges. Alright, judges ready, drivers ready. Here we go. And we're gonna send it. We got Unknown leading Whips. Whips in the unfavored E30. I thought he was gonna struggle keeping up, and this car is just absolutely killing it. We got Unknown throwing down a really good banger of a first run. He gets the inside zone there, gets the first outside zone, gets all the way on the outside zone, on outside zone 2. Whips following him perfectly. They both miss that inside touch and go. They go up against the wall here. They hit the outside zone there. Go a little bit shallow here and hit the outside zone after the wall. Whips is just not giving him any room to breathe here. Whips is just putting the pressure and putting the pressure and putting the pressure. And he is right there on the door. And there it is. Unknown wavers a little bit. Whips puts the even more pressure. And we have a problem at the end. And we're going to see how the judges judge that. This is going to be interesting. If they deem Whips pushing into him, or if Unknown goes too far outside there and Whips just following his line. We shall see what the judges say. Judges are discussing here. This is going to take a little bit longer every round. What a good run by both these drivers. I guess while we wait, I should say this is... Alright, it looks like judges have a decision. It looks like a one more time due to the contact at the end there and a little bit of contact mid-run on one of the other runs. So we're going to have one more time. They're going to take into consideration all the runs. This is going to be it. We have Denied Luck following Whips. Whips is going to, I can just tell this dude's going to be throwing it down this run. Unknown, got to put the pressure on him. Look at Whips. Unknown, just tapping him to the outside. This is exactly what we're waiting for. Whips correcting, doesn't get phased by it. Unknown, transitioning behind him, has to make up this ground. Whips just absolutely making all these outside zones, and Unknown pushing a little too hard into outside zone 3. This is the kind of driving we're wanting. We want aggressive. Whips still unfazed by that touch, but we know that Unknown is going to have a 0 for this run. So Unknown has basically a free chase run as long as he just stays conservative. So this next run might be a little boring. Unknown, unfortunately, kind of throws that run away. This is all in Whips' court. All right, this is the last run these drivers can do. They better lay it all out on the track. All right, Whips following, Unknown leading. Whips not giving him any room, throwing it a little early, but then pushing in, closing proximity. Unknown going a little bit outside. We got Whips not giving him any room, putting all the pressure on him. Transitioning right there with him on the inside touch and go, transitioning again to the second outside zone. He is just not giving him any room to breathe. They both kind of miss that inside touch and go there. They go to the outside wall here, gets that outside zone, goes a little shallow, which is what you want, gets the outside zone. Whips is just putting the pressure, staying on his door, every transition, every zone, just putting the pressure. And it looks like it works where Unknown goes a little bit outside, Whips stays inside, and Unknown might have choked that run. Way to go for Whips. It looks like Whips gets the win. This dude is coming out of nowhere with an E30 with the widest wide body you can find, and this dude is throwing it down with all the power. Short wheelbase, and he is absolutely a menace to this series. Love to see it. Yo, Temple, if you're in my ear, really side note, can you give me 30 seconds? Alright, I gotta be right back. I gotta do something. Give me just a second. Alright, sorry about that. We are good to go. Alright, we got Rise versus Denied. For all that you don't remember, Rise is for Team Pro Drift in his Sylvia S15 2JZ YOLO tires against Denied Team Legion BMW E92 M3 with an S65 power plant. He transitions and almost rips Rise's bumper off. Rise going a little deep into that outside zone. Ooh, there was a little bit of hesitation with Denied there, which is unusual for the way he drives. Denied trying to close the distance again, getting into the outside zone along with Rise. Rise pushing in, doesn't get the inside clip, but Denied almost does. Denied still trying to close the gap. Rise getting in this outside zone with not a whole lot of angle, and neither is Denied, but they are keeping the same distance between each other, and that is what you want to see. There is some veteran level driving going on tonight. Alright, we're gonna switch them up. We got Rise following Denied. If we know anything, Denied can throw down a lead run. Rise hucking it in behind him. Denied, just throwing the smoothest lead run. He flicks it in super softly, but just hangs it out there at the end. Gets the inside touch and go. Rise throwing a lot of angle behind Denied. Denied filling that outside zone, pushing in, perfect line, misses that inside touch and go by a little bit. Rise transitioning behind him, almost inches behind him. They both get this outside zone. Rise putting all the pressure on him. They both miss the inside zone a little bit, but Denied filling this outside zone almost unlike anyone does, and Rise absolutely mimicking him. These are the runs we want to see. These runs are so hard to do. I don't think people understand how hard it is to be this smooth, have this consistent runs over and over and over at this level. The grip, the driving, the just the skill that is involved here is next level. All right, we got a quick decision from judges. It looks like Denied moves on to the finals. Denied moves on to the finals. All right, so we're going to have Unknown Bro and Rise battling for third here. I am excited to see this battle. Unknown and Rise. All right, Rise leading. Denied. Rise freaking throwing it in. That might be some of the most angle we've seen in that first corner, and he holds it out to the entire outside zone. That is some skill driving. He is not leaving anything on the table for this run. He is throwing everything out there except the kitchen sink. This is Formula Drift, ladies and gentlemen. This is insane. Oh, and we got Denied just having a little bit of a hiccup there against Rise. He was having one of the best follow runs we've seen, and they put a little bit of distance between each other, but you can see how the angle is almost perfect between them two, and that is how you know these guys are veterans. Fuck! Oh. Yeah. Alright, my bad. That was Unknown against Rise, not Denied. That was my mistake. Good runs between two drivers. Yep. Alright, we got Unknown leading Rise. We had a little bit of a note mix up. This is Unknown leading Rise. Unknown in M4, N54 powered. We know this guy can throw down a lead run, so Rise is going to have it in. He's going to have a tough time. It might have looked like Unknown went 2 tires deep there, which could mean Rise has an easy third place victory here. Rise is keeping the angle of Unknown here. Might have thrown it even a little harder into that zone, and it looks like Unknown went deep again. We're gonna have to see what the judges say there. Again, there was a little bit of a mix-up. That was Unknown against Rise. Denied is in the finals with Pro Whips. Little bit of a no mix-up there. Okay, and we have a third place, which is TSF Rise gets third. TSF Rise gets third place in the Aurora Knights Drift Series Round 2. Rise gets 3rd place. Congratulations. Alright, now the battle everyone's been waiting for. BMW on BMW again. Pro Whips in his E30, which is a huge upset in my opinion. I cannot believe this car has made it. This guy can control this short wheelbase unlike anything I've ever seen. Then we got Denied Luck from Team Legion in his E92 M3, N54 powered Pro Drift, wide body M3. And here we go. Oh, and there we go. Denied Luck getting the yips and smashing whips in that first outside zone. That is not what you want to see at the finals. Alright, will this be the last battle of the night, or will it be here one more time? Here we go. We have Whips in his E30 M3 following Denied Luck in his E92 M3. Let's see if Whips can pull this out in the shortest wheelbase I've seen in a comp. Whips following Luck, throwing down a pretty good lead run, except he's a little shallow on that outside zone. Doesn't quite hit the touch and go. Goes all the way outside on that second outside zone. Whips is actually having trouble following him, which we haven't seen all night. Luck going outside, hitting the outside zone. Going a little shallow and hitting the outside zone almost perfectly. This might be the best lead run we've seen the entire night. Denied Luck absolutely throwing it down and actually giving Whips a run for his money. Whips finally falls in tow. That is insane. That is insane. This is Formula Drift, ladies and gentlemen. This is what we expect. Alright, we're going for the announcements here. Alright, so the winner is Whips for Aurora Knights Round 2. Let's go! Way to go, Whips. That deserves bits for Whips. Good job, everybody. Everybody competing, thank you. Everybody that joined in on the stream and chatted, thank you. This is huge. This runs so well. The people behind the scenes do so much. Alright, looks like the drivers are going to get a few pictures. Thank you for everyone that has joined. Thanks for everyone that competed. Thank you for people in the chat. No, you're good, man. Yeah. Everyone complaining about Whips. Shut up, the dude's just a genius. This dude's just insane. Oh, yeah. No problem. I'm out. Thank you, everyone. We're going to have a good night. We're going to take some pictures. And that is the end of round 2 for our Aurora Nights Drift Series. Have a good weekend.
You